Greetings, Michigan Ultimate Survivor League members. It's James L.C. Graves coming to you live at 7:33 a.m. with a new microphone that seems to be a lot more quiet, but hopefully that weird hissing is gone. It was an interesting week, to say the least. We had the Elite Eight, knowing full well that the winners of all 4 games of the Elite Eight would be making it to the Final Four, and thus getting a $50 guaranteed prize. Now, for those of you who do not remember how the Final Four works, and my whole family's up, although there's only one person in my family besides my wife currently. If you make it to the Final Four, each person gets $50. Then there's a third place game where the winner of that gets an extra $50. And of course, the grand prize game, people win much more money than that. So, it is critical. If you want to win money, you get to the Final Four, you automatically win $50. Our Final Four games were the Nasty Nutria versus the Clockwork Elves. The Apache Chiefs, which is how much longer will liberalism be legal? I think that might be an updated name. More on that in a second. Taco Tuesday versus the Dublin Drunks, and Toon Squad versus Malin Incorporated. Now, a little background information here. As I have said, 2 days before the election, deleted Facebook from my phone. The day of the election, the night of the election, I'm sitting here watching it. I reinstalled Facebook on my phone and went through and unfollowed literally every one of my 1,100 plus friends because I'm just tired of it. You know, I have to have Facebook for various entities such as Michigan Ultimate Survivor League, but I just hate reading all the negativity on there. So I unfollowed literally every single person, including my father, my oldest friends, my family members. I did not unfollow my wife, though, but still, everyone but her. She's special. So, we are doing some serious construction at our house right now. Renovations, if you will. So, all day Saturday and all day Sunday, I was nowhere, well, not all day Sunday, but till about 4 o'clock Sunday, I was nowhere near a TV screen to watch football. So, out of nowhere, my friend Jeff Arbogast calls me up. I'm like, yo, to what do I owe this great pleasure? And he tells me, I know you don't have Facebook anymore, but you might want to check in on it because your cousin's all upset because he wasted a good lineup against a player or a team who didn't submit a lineup. And I'm like, wait a minute here. Wait 1 minute, Cassandra.
Oh my gosh, 1 minute?
That's right. So I was like, no way. Pat Provost, who my cousin Kale, a.k.a. the Apache Chiefs, was playing, is one of the best owners we've probably ever had in this league. So, upon seeing this, I get on my phone and see that I've been flooded with Facebook messages from Mr. Provost himself, dating at 1:19 p.m. The gist of it is this. He's like, yo, I made an honest mistake here. I have 2 teams. I submitted a lineup at 12:23 p.m. For the wrong team. What can we do about this? Now, my first thought is this. If your names aren't so goddamn long and complicated, you probably would have known what lineup you were doing. I've noticed that now one of your team's names is truncated severely to how much longer will liberalism be legal instead of AOC in the whacked out left, Bernie this, Bernie that, you know, whatever the hell, 45-word name, and you have 2 of those. So if it was a normal guy like, I don't know, Giggle Giggle and Nam Tab Knights, those are 2 normal team names. Pretty easy to distinguish the 2. When you have these run-on names that take 45 seconds to read online, your odds of fucking that up, honestly, are probably pretty good. So, what do I do about this? Because a lot of people don't know how this went down. That's why I'm breaking it down right now. I cannot just straight up say, oh, okay, no problem. Here's the lineup. That would be a supreme injustice to Kale and a slap in the face to every other owner that's ever been a part of this league. Rules are rules for a reason. Because, yo, if you don't submit your lineup, it is your responsibility to submit your lineup for the right goddamn team by 1 o'clock p.m. Now, I did not want to just say, well, you're an idiot. Too bad. Your team's getting randomized. Now, had this been virtually any other owner, I wouldn't have felt inclined to do what I did, but I felt it's the fair thing to do. Pat Provost was one of the best owners we've ever had. He's got 45 family members in this league. Half the league is his family, I think, and friends. So, and he's never missed a lineup to my knowledge. Had two teams for 3 years. I think he's been in the league for 4 years maybe. Never has he been randomized his entire life. So, I totally believe, honest mistake. Illegal lineup was submitted at 12:23 for the wrong team. Sent me the screenshot. All this stuff. And again, this is 1:19 p.m. It wasn't like it was 4:45. It was 1:19 p.m., so the games had just started. That being said, lay of the law says you have to have your lineup by 1 o'clock. But the only fair thing to do here was to let Kale decide. You know, Kale had made a Facebook post saying how he was very disappointed that he wasted a great lineup at a team that was going to get randomized. He was bummed. He's a sportsman. He wants the sport. He wants the thrill of an actual victory. So I'm like, hey, there may be a chance that Kale will actually allow this. And if Kale allows this, I'm fine with it. If Kale says no, please take care of that child. If Kale says no, then I'm sorry, Pat, but that's the rule. You know, it's Kale's decision. So I call Kale and I lay it out for him, knowing full well that he is a Seagraves, which means that he is a man of integrity. Why don't you do something with that kid? Take care of him. Usually the kids aren't up this early, but hey, it is what it is. So as I had probably predicted, Kale says, as long as it's a legal lineup, it's a legal lineup, I'm cool with it. Or I said, I don't really want an automatic victory. Now, not to say an automatic victory is going to happen, because randomizers do win games. It wasn't like Kale put up 145 points. Randomizers put up 90 points before. So randomizer is not an automatic win. That's why it's there. Especially this late in the game, when so many players have been used, you don't really lose a lot because the best players have already been used probably. So either way, there's a chance he's going to lose this game. But Kale took the high road and said, you know what, allow the lineup. So I go back and I look at the lineup and I'm like, all right, everything's good, save for the kicker. Because he couldn't use him. I think it was Rodrigo Blankenship, I think he had originally. So, fair being fair, I randomized the kicker. Ended up being Mason Crosby, which unfortunately was the kicker for Kale's favorite team. And he had a 58-yard field goal at the end of the game. And I was really hoping that Kale wasn't going to lose by just that kick. And unfortunately for him, and also my boy Jeff Arbogast, who was the guy who first broke the story, Lamar Jackson had a good game, sending not only Jeff, but also Kale Seagraves, the integral Kale Seagraves, a loss. Do get away from that. Get away from that. Do not unplug this damn thing again. Go. I'm removing my shield, so if this thing breaks, you're going to see me flip out. Get away. Hey. No. Get away from there. Sorry. And somehow the child still does not have a sippy. So anyway. So what happened? Well, to put it bluntly, Kale lost. By his own hand, in theory. He chose to allow the lineup. Can't blame me. Can't blame Pat. Can't really blame himself. I mean, I guess he can. But it's like, if he had submitted the right lineup, which he has done probably 500 times. Get away from there! God damn it. Stupid guy. Go play. You know you live in a nerdy household when your cat's toys are dice. Just saying. And she goes by the power, and this whole computer setup is hooked up on a damn dummy plug, which is not safe. Remember a few weeks ago, she hit the dummy plug and everything went down. I had to re-record a 25-minute podcast, so I was pissed. So anyway, Kale lost, and it was a devastating blow, but that's how that happened. It's the hardest moment I ever had as a commissioner here, because on one hand, you're going to upset one of your closest cousins. On the other hand, you're going to upset one of the best owners. So we let the people decide. And he decided, he did what I would have done. He could have taken the easy way out.
But still could have lost.
Still could have lost to a randomizer, so it wasn't like an automatic win. He could have taken the easy way out, didn't, did the honest, took the high road, allowed the lineup, and because of that, I, your Commissioner James L. Seagraves, is personally paying my cousin Kale $50 out of my own pocket because I appreciate his honesty and his love of the game and his integrity, taking the high road. Not only $50, but I'm also buying his entry in next year to the Michigan Ultimate Survivor League. So it's $70 worth of prizes, $75 potentially, depending on when he gets in. Worth of prizes because I think it's the right thing to do. I had a fantastic day in the stock market yesterday, so whatever, man. I'll pay it personally because it means a lot to me for him to make my life easier because I didn't have to tell Pat Provost and upset him and a whole bunch of other people because it was on mistake. He got effed. But, I think it's the right thing to do. So, Kale, if there was a Walter Payton Man of the Year award, you'd be the first nominee, I tell you, buddy. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, Pat Provost and his ridiculous team name does win the game. Thanks to Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson also sent Jeff Arbogast home. Let's look at these games. Nasty Nutria. Now, this is another one I watched very intently because my son is the Clockwork Elves. And I believe, personally, that not only Nasty Nutria, but also the Apache Chiefs, the aforementioned Apache Chiefs, can lay the blame not on Pat Provost, not on me, not on Lamar Jackson. I think that both of these teams can lay their losses on one entity, and that entity is the New Orleans Saints. These guys had won 9 straight games. Now, granted, I think Taysom Hill is a goddamn joke. I don't know why Jameis Winston isn't the quarterback for them. They start this Taysom Hill who has no talent whatsoever. Oh, I can run the football. Oh my God, he's awful. And I don't know why they start him. And it's like, well, James, that doesn't have anything to do with the defense. But it does, because your offense can't do dick. Your defense on the field a lot, and therefore you got one. And they were playing the Eagles with a rookie starting quarterback for his first time ever, and they completely laid a goose egg. In fact, if they hadn't fumbled or got an interception in the fourth quarter, they would have scored 0 points. 0. So, both Nasty Nutria and the Apache Chiefs had him in, and they both lost. So I'm saying, that's right, folks. I'm saying that these games are lost based on these guys here. I'm gonna look at these here and see what we got going on here, because maybe. Well, I don't know why you can't click a goddamn box score though. It's like, oh, they're right here. Okay, never mind. So look at this right here. Okay, this is the weekly results tab. Nice time to show it to you in the Final Four podcast, but I mean, you look at this lineup on paper, and I told my son straight up, I was like, there's no way, barring miracle, you're going to win this. Patrick Mahomes, Chris Carson, Derrick Henry, Robbie Anderson, meh, but he actually did okay. Mike Evans, Gronkowski, Young Ho Koo, that Young Ho, and New Orleans Saints versus Ryan Tannehill, Giovanni Bernard, Mike Davis, Corey Davis, Calvin Ridley, Jonnu Smith, Jason Sanders, and the Washington football team. I'll be blunt. My son sent me his lineup, and I'm like, you're going to put your whole season in the hands of Ryan Tannehill and a couple of guys? And between those guys, they scored 16 points. But I also told him, hey, you made it to the late. I didn't. Don't listen to me. And thankfully, he didn't. I thought it was curious that he started the Washington football team defense. Didn't call him out on it. But I'll tell you, man, I was taking some trash down to the Commonwealth, and I heard that Chase Young returned a fumble for a touchdown. At that point, I'm like, oh my God, Lennon might actually pull this off, because I had seen that the Saints were just getting their asses handed to them. And came back, got on Sunday Ticket, turned on that Redskins game, and no later than 45 seconds later did, what is his name? Brian Wilson, or whatever his name is, from the Beach Boys, quarterbacking for the 49ers, threw the worst pass I've ever seen. Picked off, taken to the house. Cassandra and I were Lions fans. We don't have a lot to cheer about, but we were rooting for Lennon's team. We were going nuts in this house. Meanwhile, my son's in Georgia shopping, so I didn't know any of this was happening. He missed like the most exciting moment of the year. But, yeah, I mean, really, the Saints defense is why you guys lose. I mean, straight up. Look at this. And then you look down here. Same thing. 2 points. I mean, 2 points. The 49ers scored 8 points. I mean, they got their ass beat. You know, I mean, it's tough. I mean, if you look at this, I mean, he started Derrick Henry, he started Tom Brady. You know, Tom Brady didn't have a very good game either, by the way. But Lamar Jackson, 25 goddamn points. Are you kidding me? So, yeah, these are the box scores. You're looking right at them, folks. Let's look down. I have not really looked at these other games. I know Taco Tuesday, Lamar Jackson. I mean, the Dublin Drunks had a great lineup, put in 80 points. At this stage of the game, 80 points is really good, guys. Corey Davis let him down. The Saints let everybody down, basically, except for, you know, two of the teams that won. You know, man, the Saints. The Saints cost a lot of people. Then we go down here to this last game I have not looked at all. I mean, they both had the Seahawks defense in, so they didn't cast anything. But big winners here as Malin Incorporated beats Toon Squad by the score of 75-72. Very close game. Going into the last game of the week there, well, I think it was actually over Sunday night. I don't know what just fell, but something just fell. So that sets up this week. Listen up, Corey Dole. Actually, no, wait, never mind. That's next week. Sorry, we're still in the Final Four this week. So, Final Four this week, as we have said, is gonna be the Clockwork Elves. I don't know why my computer's so slow. What the hell is going on here? The Clockwork Elves taking on how much longer will liberalism be legal? Hey, here's a tip. Double check your lineup, make sure it's the right team this week. Because my son is not going to let this happen twice in a row, I have a feeling. And then Taco Tuesday, the number one team all year, has done the unthinkable and has made it to the Final Four. A lot of times the top seeds get knocked off pretty quick. You know, they get complacent. Taking on Malin Incorporated, who, you know, they were 7-4. How much longer will Lism believe this? 7-4. Clockwork Elves were 8-3, and then of course the Taco Tuesday was 9-2, one of only 3 9-2 teams in the league. So that'll be good. We go down to the suck bracket where we're in the Elite Eight this week because they're a week behind, so there's more teams. My own personal franchise, Providence Power, will be taking on Freedom Fighter, aka Kevin Mr. Wilson. Most known unknown, that is Justin Redding, his first year in the league, taking on the New Orleans Rock Chucks, the lovable Aaron King. And then we've got Password is Taco. Dom Valenti, he can't repeat in the regular bracket, but I'll be damned if he ain't trying to repeat, at least to win one bracket in the SUK bracket. Get that free entry. 99% luck, 1% heart, that is Rocky Keeling. Carry on Wayward Son, Brian David, taking on Savage FC. Look at this guy. 2-9 record regular season. He didn't give up. He didn't throw in the towel. He's still got something to play for. He's got a whole bunch of security cameras chilling at my Verizon office. But, you know, kudos to you, Mr. McNamara. So that's where we are. Reminder that if you win, if you're in the Final Four this week and you win the game, you're guaranteed at least $200. $250 essentially. And if you lose this week, you get thrown into the third place game for an extra $50 bonus. So I'm going to probably get those $50 stimulus checks put out today. So check your PayPal accounts and we will go from there. That way we know, that way you'll get your money. If you need it faster, Christmas time, try to get it out to you as fast as possible. Because, otherwise we're looking at after Christmas. So, all right. You guys have a wonderful day. We'll be seeing you next week. I'm out.